Can you tell us the story about Zach Henning and how you were able to get into Washington and what you've seen out of him so far?
Yeah, Zach's been a phenomenal addition to the team and to our unit especially. But it was kind of cool because so Aaron, our GM, spent time at Washington and was aware of Zach and kind of everything that he kind of brought to the table. So when his name hit the portal, there was a little bit of a prior understanding of who he was and kind of relationship there. And it took about, I don't know, 4 snaps for me to be like, yeah, we'll be interested in this one. So it was because if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure the portal opened up the day of the Holiday Bowl. So we're getting ready for pregame right before the O-line comes out, and AK's like, hey, you want to get him on the phone? I was like, yeah. So he was priority number 1 from the beginning. His visit's kind of interesting. So he was visiting the team up north just before us, and he was supposed to get down like later that night, and I was texting him, and he's like, yeah, I'm kind of done with this. And I was like, shoot, I'll be there to get you tonight if you need. So drove up myself and brought him back down, and we just hung out in the car on the drive back, and super grateful that he chose us, and he's been awesome for our room and for our team.
What was that conversation like driving down from Tempe?
It was just a lot about getting to know him getting to know me, me having to make sure that I wasn't speeding too much. I didn't want to give a bad first impression, but I was excited to get him back to campus. But no, it was an easy conversation, which led me to believe that it was going to be a great fit because it wasn't really like a forced interaction. It felt really natural, which was cool because it's one of those things where as a coach you really want to hit it off with your players, and that was a great ride back.
Juan and then Michael, compared to last season, how do you feel about your room going into this season?
I'm extremely excited. Kind of the same as I was last year. I think that's part of coaching, right? Is you want to be excited about your room, and you want to be excited about your guys, and you're excited for them to have an opportunity to go compete. And I think this room loves to compete. They love each other, which is awesome. And I'm really optimistic about what the future holds for our room. I think we are in a much better place depth-wise, and that's just because last year there's a great crop of young kids that just weren't really ready. The Javians, the Louis, the Wheelers of the world, they were freshmen, and now after having kind of a year under their belt, you can start to see the development from those guys, as well as the additions of Nate and the growth of Isaac and obviously Zach that we just talked about. But I think the room is in a very healthy place, and I think the best part about it is that there's competition in the room, and you kind of see that out there now with different guys getting snaps and having a productive camp.
Michael and then Jason.
I've always heard that coaches like to have maybe like 8 or so guys that they can trust heading into a season.
God, that sounds awesome. That'd be dope.
Who are the leading candidates for like 6, 7, 8?
It's actually I joke about that, but I honestly believe we're in a really good spot that way. Grayson is a guy that is kind of proven himself time and time again when his number's called to go in and play. So Grayson's there for sure. The emergence of JV and Goo has been awesome. He's given us valuable reps at center in camp. He's taking reps at guard right now. His physicality is really starting to show up. And the cool thing about a guy like Javian is that he's played so many snaps at center now that he knows all the calls, so he knows what's going on. So it's an extra set of eyes out there for the center to help him with the communication and the targeting and all that type of stuff. Nate Hale has had a really productive fall camp. From where he started in spring to where he is now is, market value improvement. One of the guys that I'm most proud of is Wheela. You guys know who Wheela is, right? Yeah, Tohi. So sorry, that's a little in-house, I guess, nickname, but he's been awesome, and he is proof of, if you stick to the plan and truly buy into the process and the development, good things happen. He's gone from a guy that people were questioning whether or not he should be here to a guy that now we're talking about, how much he's going to play this year. So I'm super proud of him. I'm super excited about him. And he's really taken a huge step forward. Louis is also a guy that has proven to be able to add value to the room and depth. Bringing Jake Griffin in as well has also added to that. So, I don't think that's completely flushed out yet, but I think that's a good thing because we have guys that are pushing for those spots, and there's great competition there.
Jason and David. Is the transition or what you want to do any easier? I know KD had a great season last season, but the experience at center compared to a guy like Henning who's played it before, is there a difference in maybe how you're able to approach overall?
Yeah. Like you said, KD was awesome. You talk about a guy that was a tackle that all of a sudden had to snap the ball and make all the calls, right? But Zach's been in it before, and I think the biggest thing that people don't understand about that is the pressure, right? Of having to do all that, right? Of having to make sure that everybody's right, having to make sure that our eyes are right, so that Noah stays upright. There's a lot that goes into that. So, I think him having done it in game before, at a high level, kind of takes some of that stress off of him, and he kind of knows. What the deal is, so to speak. But he's been great, and I thank KD all the time for what he did and making the move, and he's happy about it now. But it was a little bit of pullback in the beginning for him. But Zach kind of knew right away what he was brought here for, and he's been up to the challenge. And I mean, you guys know, Coach G's defense is not one that's simple. So for him to walk in and learn a new offense, new calls, versus the defense that he has to see every day in practice, I think he's doing a phenomenal job. And like I said, I'm super grateful that he's a part of us.
David and then Justin.
Zach, what most frustrated you today about what was happening out there with your offensive line?
I don't know if it was frustration. Just I thought we had a good day. There's some pre-snap things that we need to clean up. There are there's new guys in there, Javian being one who's up with the ones today. And there's a lot that goes into that, right? As a redshirt freshman, all of a sudden, you're surrounded by the guys that are going to play on Saturdays, and there's a lot that's going through your heart and your mind there. And then there's obviously as a coach, you want it to be perfect all the time, but that's why we have practice, right? And kind of the way I approach things is I approach everything as if it's a big thing, because we don't want to let the little things slip, and the devil's in the details, and we try to be as detail oriented as we can in that position, and there are little technical things here or there that we talk about often that I still want to see improve. So it's not so much frustration as it is, it's almost enjoyment that we still have stuff to coach.
What are your early impressions of the freshman tackles, Malachi Joyner and Morales?
So Justin's been repping at guard, but I think Malachi is going to be a phenomenal player. He's athletic, he's strong. There is a lot to learn for him right now, because again, it's all new, and the transition from high school to college is I liken it a lot to learning a second language, because there is, he joked the other day, he's like, yeah, when I was in high school, it was just zone right or zone left. And now there's a bunch that goes into it. But once the game starts to slow down for him, I think you'll really start to see the talent that he is. There's still times now where, he's not 100% sure on what he's doing, but his athletic ability allows him to recover, which at tackle is a huge weapon, being able to recover on the edge. And he's got natural hips, natural feet. He's got a great punch. I'm super excited about Malachi, and I am so fired up that, he decided to stay home, so to speak.
What do you think about his throwing career? I know he's a shot put state champion. And does what he did there, does that translate to offensive line play?
Absolutely. The explosion that he has in his lower body, and the fluidity that he has in his hips, are all super paramount in what it is that we do. And he's as advertised that way.
Juan and Michael, does it make your job any easier to have that right side of deuced and bounds with so much experience and so solid right there?
I think it would make anybody's job easier. But no, I'm excited about Alex and Tristan. They are guys that have got a lot of reps together in game, so they know how each other operates, which is huge for that tackle guard relationship. And as a guy that got to play next to Kevin Zeitler for a bunch of years, the fact that Tristan gets to play next to a freak like Deuced is pretty fun. The experience that those two have has been awesome for our room.
Michael and Justin.
You talked before camp about how Matthew Lotto had a good offseason, kind of like starting to feel comfortable with being a bigger guy than he was when he got here. Now that you've had a chance to watch him for a couple weeks here in training camp, what have you seen?
I love Lotto. Lotto's awesome. The thing that's crazy about Lotto is we all forget how young he is because you just feel like he's been here for forever. Feels like this dude's on his third contract or something. You know what I mean? Like he's been here a minute, but he has gotten so much better, and the amount of reps that he's taken in practice in years past, and the playing time that he got in season last year has truly just kind of made his growth exponential. And kind of the things that Lotto and I have been talking about is that it's time for him to take the next step, because he has all the ability to be a true lockdown Big 12 tackle, and we're starting to really focus in on the little nuances of it because the game has slowed down for him. He's ready to take that next step and truly becoming the guy that people are going to talk about. And I'm just so excited to kind of see that starting to take shape. He's becoming much more confident in his hands. He's becoming much more confident in the fact that he is a large human, and he's starting to act like a large human out there. And his physicality has improved. One of the things that we're continuing to work on with him is his pad level, because once that kind of comes around, I think his game is close to limitless.
Our last two will be Justin and David.
Going back to Zach Henning, I think Coach Stewart was talking about his affinity for pancakes or something like that. What's the story with that?
Yeah, so I'm not completely in the know on his Pancakes deal, but Pancakes was his nickname back in high school, I think, because he just would crush pancakes. So it was actually on the when we went to go up and get him, I had pancakes in the car for him, and he freaking crushed them on the way back. And I was like, "You just gonna eat that in the car?" It's not a rental, by the way. This is mine, so please don't spill. But no, Zach's great. We started calling him Mr. Perfect today after Kurt Henning, the wrestler. So yeah, so he's Mr. Perfect now, and he doesn't mess up. So.
We'll wrap up with David.
Coach, a lot of the false starts we've been seeing in camp have come from the offensive line. What are the key elements there that you want to see improved as you get closer to the fifth?
Focus. It's focus, right? You know, from whether it's us, a wide receiver, a tailback, whatever it is. It's just focusing on the snap count, pre-snap, and there's not much to it. There's not many drills that you can work to eliminate that, right? It's between you and you, and they're aware of it, and we've addressed it. But again, right, like I said today, you know, you're talking about a redshirt freshman that's in there with the first group for the first time, who's looking at, you know, all the stuff that is across the ball from him, trying to make calls and getting ready for the next snap. So, you know, the beauty of it is we don't play tomorrow, so we'll continue to work through it and continue to grind.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do we think we spell Willa?
It's with a U.
So,
I'll give it to you. I'll get it spelled to you. It's in my phone. It's got some U's and some I's, a couple L's.
yeah, send it to Brad and he'll,
Okay,
yeah, thank you.
absolutely.
Oh, the first letter's a U? Yeah. Do you know how to spell it?
Yeah, it's like, I think it's like UILMI or something like that. Wheeler? Like really
Apostrophe.
Wheeler.
Two dots or one of the U's, apostrophe.
With a U. No idea.
I try not to laugh when you said, I love Lotto.
Cause
That's what you said.
that's exactly what I said. Were you there for that?
Yeah.
Oh, when he was grilling, just chewing him out.
Yeah.
And then, like, I went over there and I was like, the funny thing about Oglesby is just like, dude, like, Lotto, you play like dog shit. I love Lotto. He's a great player. And he said exactly that. He said,
I like that Brad Rose tried it live too.
that's how he is.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Questions for our student athletes? We'll start with Justin.
Nice to meet you, Zach. Can you tell us about this, when you were visiting ASU, and then you texted the coaches, and they came up and picked you up and drove you down? Can you tell us that story?
Yeah, I was on my visit, and then Coach O was texting me through my agent, and my agent has really good relationships with Coach B, and he was prompting me to go on the visit, and I was like, all right, I'm already here, might as well. And I thought I was going to fly down, and then when they picked me up, I thought that was super cool to like show how much I meant to them, and it was really cool to ride down like an hour and a half with Coach O, and kind of just find out how he's about and what he's all about through there. So it was
What were
nice.
the conversations like with Coach Josh?
Honestly, it was pretty normal. We were talking about, because he picked me up in his truck rather than like one of the Escalades, and he knew I was kind of like more of a truck guy, so that was pretty cool. We just talked about like music, country music, just what I like, just kind of basic, like normal conversations. Yeah.
Michael and David.
For Matthew, we were just asking Josh about you and your progress, and he said that you've kind of progressed to the point where he wants you to take a next step, become a really good player, and he said you're focusing on a lot of nuances and details. What are some of the nuances and details that can elevate your game?
I would say overall, just with the little things like specifically like first steps, my specific techniques, like my punching ability, just overall offensive line play.
David, anything you want?
For you, Matthew, just with the bull rush, I know Coach was not real happy with the way you guys performed in that respect today. What are the key elements in making sure you're identifying your guy coming off the edge and how to control that?
I think that just comes back down to technique and just getting better every day at practice and being able to stop a bull rush.
And for you, Zach, just when he met with you guys after that 7-on-7 period, what was the message to kind of him expressing what his frustration was with how you guys were performing in that period?
Yeah, I'd say it's just need more focus, and just respond throughout the rest of practice. We still had a lot of football left in practice, so just how we respond through practice will reflect in the game as well. So just make sure we finish strong.
Juan and Justin.
For a question for both of you, what have you taken from guys like Tristan and Alexander, who have been here for so long, have been doing it for so long? What have you taken from them as far as lessons learned?
I would say from Tristan, just learning from his leadership as well as different like stuff about football IQ that he knows that he's taught me over his experience and the amount of games that he's played, that he's taught me, his knowledge.
For me, playing next to Deuce is pretty great. He's very strong and helps out a lot with a lot of things. He's also very smart as well, which helps out with the schemes, with me learning it. And then Tristan's kind of the same thing. He's a very smart football player. He knows a lot, especially with the edge of the defense. So it's nice to have him out there and help me out.
Justin and Michael.
Zach, what has it been like for you to have that quarterback-center relationship with a guy like Noah Fafita, and how often do you guys go golfing?
Yeah, it's great. Noah's the best. He's so humble. He's just one of the nicest humans I've ever met. And the golfing aspect, we'd go quite a bit. He'd take me out to La Paloma, where he's a member, out with, which is pretty nice. And he's just always be a good time. Just get out with the fellas.
We've heard that you're the best golfer on the team.
I mean, I think it flips. It depends. Like Noah's pretty good. Quinn Olson's pretty good. Kason Brown's pretty good. Sawyer Anderson's pretty good. Madowski, Mad Dog is what I call him. He's also pretty good. And any day, I mean, we've all beat each other. We've all lost to each other. So, I mean, I don't know if I'm the best, but definitely in that group of like the best, I would say.
Did you win the close to the pin challenge the other night?
I did not. I came fourth. I was like 20 feet away. The ball didn't spin. There was no spin on the ball.
Michael and David.
One question for each. First for Zach, was the love that the coaching staff showed you when they came and picked you up and brought you down here, is that what kind of put it over the top for Arizona?
Yeah, it was exactly what I was looking for. Just a spot that's going to take me in, and just the love they showed me from the first day on the visit. I kind of knew deep down. I was like, when I stepped on, I was like, yeah, this feels like the place I'm going to go. And just when I met Tristan on my visit, like the culture he talked about, and then obviously all the guys coming back, Noah, Trey Spivey, all the running backs coming back. It was an O-line as well. So it was a great foundation to join and be a part of.
Sorry, for Matthew, one of the things that Josh talked about with you is like getting used to carrying more weight. He said you were maybe like 250-ish when you first got to school and about 320.
Yeah.
Now, what is that process like to relearn your how to move with that?
Just getting adjusted to my body weight, learning how to move as 320 pounds, not 250 anymore. Just building my strength, building my ability to control defenders and just balance.
What's the hardest part about that?
I would say the balance aspect of being lighter weight and then having to increase all the way to 320 and having to control that weight while you're pass blocking, run blocking.
David and Justin.
Matthew, when you were self-evaluating the opportunities you got last year, what were you seeing in your game? What notes were you taking about the things that you wanted to work on in the offseason to try to put yourself in a better position this year?
I would say overall just getting stronger and being able to punch defenders better in pass protection, as well as be able to move people off the ball and run blocking.
You mentioned punching defenders better. I know Tristan's worked a little bit with the boxing in the offseason. Is that something any of the rest of you?
Yeah, we all joined them for a couple sessions of the boxing with them.
What was that like for you?
It was a fun experience. It's a good way to work your hands.
We'll finish up with Justin.
Zach, what was the backstory behind Pancakes, your nickname?
Yeah, so it started in when I was going to Washington. They had us make a video for the fans for the Instagram, and my mother and sister thought it was a good idea to like make my video unique. So then we had a big thing of pancakes like right in front, and like I had a whole script, and it was just everything like was involving pancakes. So that kind of how it originated.
And you had pancakes on the way down with Josh, right?
I did, yeah. Yeah, he brought some. Yeah.
Question for both of you guys. Unexpected visitor at practice last week, and Brennan Carroll, he recruited you to play for him. What was it like seeing Brennan?
It was good seeing him, just catching up and him talking about his experience at Washington, and he thought that we were both me and Deuce were gonna come over there.
Yeah, kind of same thing. Definitely surprised me when I saw him walk out the tunnel. Definitely was not expecting to see him, but just caught up. Nothing crazy. He asked him why he was down here, and then nothing. Just caught up.
And, playing for Jed Fish for the last few years, the former head coach here at Arizona, how do you reflect on your time at Washington and the experiences you get?
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of great relationships there. I have a lot of great teammates, good relationships with coaches, but just trying to focus on my time here, build relationships with the players here, coaches here, and where I came here and let this team hopefully help them win.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, fellas.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.